Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to a new episode of Grave Time. My name is Christian Apple, and today we're in Hicksville. Well, used to be Hicksville. You see, we're actually in Galt right now. Galt, California. And this here right here, this is Highway 99. This way here, that'll take you towards Fresno, Bakersfield, eventually Los Angeles once you connect to the 5. And if you go north, it'd take you to Sacramento. And so yeah, anywho, this here, open land right here, used to be a small town called Hicksville. It no longer exists today, but it did exist back in 1870. And this exit here that I took off, called Arno Road, that's A-R-N-O Road, Arno Road. And I actually have an aunt and uncle who actually live off of this road, further down. I'm not sure how far away. Anywho, there used to be a school on the property here. It was called Arno School, and school doesn't exist today, but this road does in honor of the school, and that's who it's named after, is Arno, whoever that is. Hey, let's watch this train go by. Union Pacific train. Alright, so we're here at the Hicksville Cemetery, here off of Arno Road in Galt. If you were to go down this way here, down this road, down Arno Road, it kind of does a lot of zigzagging and all the other stuff. But anywho, you eventually hit Wilton, and if you were to go this way, southbound, you go down this way, you go out to Galt. I think we're just kind of like on the outskirts of Galt right now. And then that way over there, that's where Hicksville used to be. Now, a guy by the name of Bill Hicks, some of the things I've read, it said his name was William. We all know that Bill and William, they both mean the same thing. I mean, come on. But anyways, his name was Hicks, and he came through these parts and decided to settle here, and he started a stagecoach stop, actually where we were at before over there. So you take Arnold Road over here, and it basically dead ends, and I guess there's a frontage street that would be East Stockton Boulevard, I believe. Anyways, then you have Highway 99. Like I said, this way here will take you out to Sacramento. This way here will take you out to Lodi, Stockton, Modesto, Fresno, Bakersfield, and eventually, you can connect to the 5, and it'll take you out to Los Angeles. So, Hicksville, like I said, was a stagecoach stop between Stockton and Sacramento. It had a barber shop. It had a hotel. It had a lot of the essentials that one would need if they came to a rest stop. Much like during the days of Gold Rush, there would be boom towns, and there would be stagecoach stops. People who were coming through with stagecoach or covered wagon, maybe they were on horseback or donkey, maybe they were even on foot. I don't know. I just know that they didn't have cars back then. So, anywho, So yeah, that used to be Hicksville over there. And the only remaining part of Hicksville now is the Hicksville Cemetery here. And this is a very historical cemetery. And there's a lot of pioneers buried here. People who were the original folks that came through here. Now, let's be honest here. Before the settlers came here and everything, looking for gold and and all that stuff, Native American Indians were here first. Let's get this right. Unfortunately, we live in a world of political correctness, so I'm going to take advantage of that political correctness and make it known that the Native American Indians resided here first, before myself, the white man, and other folks of other colors and nationalities and beliefs and all other stuff came here looking for freedom. Now, the Miwok Indians resided here in they're actually really from Wilton and Elk Grove, and but they also lived alongside the Cosumnes River, and which I did pass. I should have filmed that, but I didn't for whatever reason. Anywho, so now since this area was populated by Indians, Bill Hicks, knowing that there were Indians in the area, he still established his stagecoach area. And so yeah, that would be, Bill Hicks came to the area in 1847 and settled here, and then eventually built his stagecoach stop in his little tiny small town of Hicksville, and which, like I said, doesn't exist anymore. It's just Arnold Road and Highway 99 now. So the only thing that's left is Hicksville Cemetery. And Hicksville's truck coming. Anywho, I don't want to talk over these cars. I've learned my lesson about that before in the past. That gives another noisy one. So, the stagecoach stop was founded in 1870, and anywho, there was the cemetery was established, and there was a handshake between the Miwok Indians and the settlers that had came here, and the handshake was much like a verbal agreement or a handshake agreement saying, hey, that we all get to be buried in the cemetery. Unfortunately, that was not the situation, and years went by, and Native American Indians were not allowed to be buried in this cemetery. Before there was racism amongst other nationalities and other cultures that came here as slaves to work the railroad or gold mining or house workers or farm workers, cotton pickers, all that stuff. Before anyone else became known as a minority, the very first minority, and still, unfortunately, is the original minority here in America, would be the Native American Indians. And so I'm doing this this episode of Grave Time here because I happen to be a certain percentage of Native American Indian, and the tribe that I'm connected to is Walaiki, which is out near Crescent City, California. Anywho, so that's why I'm here, and I wanted to kind of bring this to the light, basically, some limelight here about this cemetery. This cemetery was in was in the news for quite a bit of years over, allowing the Native American Indians to be buried here, the Miwok. I don't know if I can get that in. There's a nice bird up there soaring, looking for some food, a mouse or a rat, something. Anyways, the cemetery council was trying to decide, should the Indians have the right just to be buried here, or should they have to be like everyone else and have to pay a fee to be buried in the ground? It's not free to be buried in a cemetery. It costs money you know, and whatnot. So, needless to say, it is 2017 currently. It wasn't until 2013 that it finally was okay, or it was allowed, that all Miwok Indians and others basically can be buried here. I'm talking about 2013. It's 2017. We're living in a world of everyone wants equality, and sadly, I think that's proof that it shows that the Native American Indians are the #1 minority that's been discriminated against. I mean, 2013, and now they finally have the right to have burial here. Now, the one that really fought this was a man by the name of Alec Blue, who was a Miwok Indian, and he was a healer, a medicine man, and a man of that many people looked up to. And he fought for many years to be buried here, and unfortunately died before that ever happened. And so in 2013, when they gave the approval, Alec Blue was buried here, and his grave is right over there. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at that. So yeah, we're here in the Hicksville Cemetery, and this here is the grave of Alec Blue. And as far as I know, he's not buried here, but this is a there's a lot of cars going down this road today. Yeah, so that's just more like a memorial grave to him. Unfortunately, never got to be buried here, but at least there's a grave stone that at least acknowledges that that he's, you know, basically placed here. Who knows? He's probably here in spirit. Anywho, on the back of his tombstone, or dedication stone, whatever you want to call it, is the information. It was all dedicated and all that stuff. It says the date and all the people that took part in the dedication and making this all happen. So let's go ahead and check out that information. It's actually a very beautiful Saturday here. It's currently September. Currently September right now, and got this stick here that I put the camera on. Oops. Sorry about that, folks. Just trying to get this in. All this will be edited and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of tombstones here, a lot of old ones. I tried doing as much research on the cemetery as I could, because I felt like there's a lot of people here that have a story that, you know, and I feel like, you know, besides them being, you know, gone, there's only so much information you can find. I just picked up a few books, and believe it or not, I told the story about Hicksville and the cemetery and controversy that went on here. And anyways, so in 2013, they went ahead and established this tombstone here, dedicating to Alec Blue, and basically him and his family now can be buried here in the cemetery on the east side of the cemetery, and I believe it's rows 14 through 18. Now, I don't know how they do the rows here, the markers and stuff like that. Every cemetery is different. I don't even know where any of that stuff is, to be quite honest with you. But I came here a few days ago, right before sundown, and kind of took a look around this place and checked out all the tombstones. There's supposedly, it doesn't look like it, but there's supposedly a little over 600 people buried here in the cemetery. Not every grave here has a tombstone. Some are made out of wood, which is interesting. Some are homemade tombstones, which is very interesting. And then there's some that are just so old and decayed that they're crumbling or falling apart, or have even been a victim of vandalism. And speaking of vandalism, kind of don't feel comfortable talking about it here, but I might as well since I'm documenting all this. But in my internet research, I came across a website. I think it's called CaliforniaHaunts.com or .net or whatever. You can look it up, Google it. California Haunts. Anyways, excuse me. I guess they go all over California and go to different places and do EVPs and this and that, and find out places are haunted. They got ghosts. And I'm not really sure what tombstone it is. I don't really want to go near it, to be quite honest, now since I know what I know. But this group went ahead and did an EVP at one of the tombstones over here. It's actually further over there. I really don't have any interest going near it, but it's heavily, it's been vandalized basically, and in cemetery district has done their best to basically fully restore it. You know, try to put the pieces back together and glue it and all that stuff to preserve for future generations, as well as, you know, be respectful. You know. Anywho, they did this EVP, and basically they had asked the person how they felt about their tombstone, and basically through the EVP, this person from the dead supposedly said that they were deeply saddened by how their tombstone has been treated, basically due to vandalism. Now, I don't know if I necessarily believe in all that stuff. You know, it's kind of weird. I'm in a cemetery by myself right now talking about a spirit, talking to a bunch of people about, you know, the disappointment of the vandalism of their grave. Okay. Something I don't really want to talk about, but I'm here talking about it because, yeah, you read it and wanted to document it for this thing, you know. And to some people, it just would not be a cemetery without talking about ghosts or spirits. But anywho, that's not what my channel's about, but I thought I'd throw that in there. So yeah, there's 600 people supposedly buried in here. Doesn't look like that many, honestly. So there's probably a lot of unmarked graves. I did find something interesting. There's a tombstone right over here. Where is it? There? Okay. Well, that one right there is David Michael Blue, and he's a descendant of Alec Blue. And I just think that's really awesome. Let's actually go check out his grave. Let me lower this thing down just a bit. I just think it's awesome about this grave here is it says Miwok on the bottom, which is pretty cool. Battery's starting to die. I just want to thank everyone for watching this episode of Grave Time here at the Hicksville Cemetery. Please like, subscribe, comment on this episode. Good things, bad things. Please tell your friends about the channel. And I really enjoy going to cemeteries and doing this. There's a lot of history here. Folks. There's a couple other guys that didn't get a chance to do. Might come back. There are a couple guys here that were buried here. They had fought in the Revolutionary War. So maybe in the near future we'll be back here at Hicksville Cemetery for another documentary or another look through of who's buried here. Anyways, this is Christian Apple signing off. You're watching Grave Time here on YouTube. And God bless you, and thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me.